This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, Oamaru residents come out in droves to receive their COVID-19 vaccination booster jabs. The Otago Regional Council is reminding people to be on the lookout for toxic algae in Otago waterways. And the Christchurch City Council is hoping to reduce the pressures around late library book fees. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. A drive-through vaccination clinic popped up in Oamaru yesterday. More than 300 people, mostly in family carloads, received a vaccination. For children it was their first shot, while for many adults it was a booster jab.
Families getting their vaccinations. Yesterday saw people coming out in droves to the drive-through clinic that popped up for a single day at Centennial Park in Oamaru. Dunedin staff from the Pacific Island and Maori-focused health group Te Kaika vaccinated over 300 people, young and old, over the day.
We had a great turnout in terms of whānau, lots of children under the age of 12 coming into the cars. We might see three or four children in the car with 2 adults in the front doing boosters.
Outreach Clinical Coordinator Ria Brody says vaccination data helps them identify where a drive-through clinic would be most effective, with Te Kaika planning to come back to Oamaru in the near future, as well as visiting other towns in the wider region.
Plans to go into central Otago, to move further south into Milton and Balclutha. We've run clinics there before. They've been large clinics, they've been drive-throughs, walk-ins, and we will return again because we've been requested to do them in those areas.
Dunedin's drive-through clinic off Victoria Road is still running, with queues during weekdays not being too long.
What we do see some trends, I guess we see trends that so we have larger amounts quite often in the weekends. That's what we've noticed, okay? The families pour through our drive-through.
The Victoria Road Clinic is set to run from Wednesday through to Sunday over the near future. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Environment Southland has closed its office today following a potential contact with a COVID-19 case. The Invercargill-based office will be shut until further notice after a contact of a positive COVID-19 case met with staff within the last 2 days. An Environment Southland spokesperson says staff are working from home until more information is available. Staff are not required to self-isolate at this stage, and the fieldwork will continue with safety precautions. Despite the visit from the contact, Environment Southland is not flagged as a location of interest. The Otago Regional Council is reminding people to be on the lookout for toxic algae following confirmed toxic algal blooms at 2 locations last week. The toxic cyanobacteria thrives in warm, nutrient-rich conditions and is common throughout all of New Zealand over late summer. Ingesting the algae can make humans and animals sick. In lakes and ponds it looks like pea soup, and in rivers it looks like black-brown tar on rocks and in mats on the riverside. People are asked to report sightings of potentially toxic algae to the ORC. In line with the growing global trend, the Christchurch City Council will soon drop its overdue fines policy at all of its 20 libraries. Following robust discussions at yesterday's council meeting, councillors voted to adopt the no fines operating model.
Councillors decided to remove charges for all overdue items and wipe all historical debt from the 1st of March. With 5% or 11,000 of their items currently overdue, library staff are keen for the new no fines policy to start and are fully supportive of the motion brought to Council by Councillor Sarah Templeton late last year.
We are very, very supportive of it. In fact, this is part of a larger trend or movement that's happening internationally and across New Zealand public libraries. So it's something we've had our eye on for a while, and just we're very delighted when Councillor Templeton actually initiated. She asked us what our views were, and actually, and we developed some information really about what that would look like for Christchurch City Council and libraries.
Currently, library fines for overdue items are 70 cents a day to a maximum penalty of $21. Evidence supplied by other national libraries suggests that when fines and debts for overdue items are wiped, many items thought lost suddenly return. For many, like motion supporter Joshua Tulalamali, personal experience means he has good reason to call for the end of fines.
There was a time when I was starting my degree and I had a couple of books which I didn't return on time. I got a notice about it and I forgot to return them, and I ended up leaving them a little while too long and ended up costing $100.
He says it was money he didn't have, but thankfully a librarian waived his fine. However, he said the discretion wasn't applied evenly.
We also collected stories from people who've experienced this, including a mum whose husband had died and didn't realise that he had books out, and with those books she got his fines.
There will, however, also be charges for any items or books deemed lost. Robertson says that when customers advise them an item is lost, they'll work closely with them to sort out a suitable payment for the lost property. In Christchurch, The South Today.
The Southern DHB has announced this afternoon staff, patients and visitors are all required to wear medical-grade face masks. The decision comes in response to the country moving to the red setting on the COVID-19 traffic light system. Unless they have medical exemption, anyone 8 years and over is required to wear a medical mask to ensure a better standard of protection. Southern DHB Medical Officer Dr. Suzanne Jack says the medical masks are more effective than using fabric or cloth coverings. Anyone who does not have access to medical grade masks will have them made available. Whakaakine still to come on The South Today. Otago University is still making an Omicron outbreak plan, and the Dunedin City Council will soon be discussing how much the new waste collection system will cost ratepayers. See you soon.
Hi there, guess who? You recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
This is the big one. My mate John's massive annual sale starts this weekend. John slashed 20 to 80% off his massive range of rock-bottom warehouse price furniture and beds. That's right, 80% off clearance items. Numbers are strictly limited, so don't delay. It's my mate John's Alley Fantastic Sale. The big one starts this weekend at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street.
Get that furniture from Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Spark your joy with Jazz, the next generation from Honda.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every day the team at Gillian's supports grieving families at their time of need. From answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one, we can help. Call Gillian's today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Feed me more!
No mai anō. With less than a month until the academic year begins, the University of Otago is still making plans for what it will do in an Omicron outbreak. About 3,000 students live in residential colleges and thousands more in flats around North Dunedin. The university says it is still working out how it would tackle a community outbreak in those settings. The university's vaccine policy is that everyone on campus and in residential colleges is vaccinated. It says it is confident it will have measures in place for teaching and learning before the first semester begins on the 21st of February. In today's Global Insight, Professor Robert Patman discusses the three major issues the world is facing this year. The international affairs commentator says responding to COVID-19, climate change and Russia's military aggression are all concerns for 2022.
Let's start Global Insight for a new year by asking, what do you think are the top three foreign affairs issues that we'll need to keep our eyes on this year?
That's a difficult question, and I did think about this carefully, but I think basically the top three in my view are as follows. Firstly, I think a continuing response to COVID-19 and recovery from the pandemic. The second one I would say is continued progress towards combating climate change, which threatens life on the planet. The third big issue is how do we deal with dissatisfied powers? You and I have spoken a lot in 2021 about China, but another dissatisfied power is Russia. So some people are interpreting Mr. Putin's push in the Ukraine as a way of deflecting from problems at home and ensuring the survival of his regime by playing the nationalist card and showing that under his leadership Russia is becoming a great power on the world stage. And as we've seen in the past, authoritarian leaders often resort to foreign militancy when things are not going well at home. And we can't rule out that possibility.
And you can watch the full interview with Professor Patman online at odt.co.nz. Decisions on Dunedin's waste collection system will be in the spotlight next week. As part of the Dunedin City Council's annual plan meeting, councillors will decide whether to change how residents are charged for waste collection. From next year, Dunedinites will have at least 2 extra waste bins with a potential for a third. Councillors will decide during the annual plan how the extra bins and increase in the number of collections will be charged to ratepayers. The new bins added will be a fortnightly general waste bin, a weekly food waste bin and an optional garden waste bin. At the moment, residents are charged an annual flat rate of $106.10. Depending on how the councillors decide, properties could be charged a flat rate of $290 or a switch rate based on property value or a mixture of both. After the break on the South Today, we find out which events of the Kathmandu Coast to Coast will still go ahead, and we have the weekend's weather for you. Hea koko ake nei.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
This is the big one. John/20 to 80% off his massive range of rock bottom warehouse price furniture and beds. It's My Mate John's Ali Fantastic Sale.
My Mate John. Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Hoki mai noa. In spite of COVID-19 restrictions, the Kathmandu coast-to-coast long day and one-day events will still go ahead. More than 280 competitors are expected to line up to compete in mid-February. In order to adapt to the red light traffic setting, races will take place with competitors in pods of fewer than 100 people. The mountain run will also go ahead but has been delayed by a day to fit the new procedures. However, numbers have severely dropped for the coast-to-coast from 1,400 initially registered athletes to under 300. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Oamaru residents came out in droves yesterday with more than 300 people receiving their COVID-19 vaccination booster jabs. The Otago Regional Council is reminding people to be on the lookout for toxic cyanobacteria, which is common in Otago waterways towards the end of summer. And the Christchurch City Council is following the national trend of cancelling late library book fees and expecting the return of some books thought lost. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Deputy Editor Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Simon. We've got a story again about concerns over waiting lists at hospitals from the Southern District Health Board boundaries, and nothing new there, I guess. A report for next week's Health Board meeting shows that more than 800 Southland women are languishing on the hospital's obstetrics and gynaecology waiting lists. 20 of them have been on it for more than a year, so that's a real issue. And of those numbers, 31 are classified as urgent and primarily cancer patients. So some real issues down there. Ultimately, it comes down to a lack of staff. They've struggled to attract staff. Would normally get locums in, and they often come from Auckland, but with COVID restrictions on, they just simply haven't been able to get them down. So some real moves to try and improve that. quickly.
I hope so.
Yeah, good news for Predator-Free Dunedin. It's received a $7 million funding boost to carry on the good work it's been doing in recent years. Started up in 2018.
Yeah.
Since then, something like 45,000 predators have been eliminated from our region. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Their next focus is possums in Mount Cargill and West Harbour area. So the funding's through to about 2025, so it certainly gives them a big boost to carry on doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Weekend Mix, we take a look at the world of streamers. I had to have a close read to see what that's all about as well. There's people who stream videos of themselves online, apparently, and get lots of followings, doing all sorts of weird things, apparently. And there's a market for it. And apparently one recent survey, international survey, showed 75% of young people believe there's a career option for them in that. So, so we talked to a Dunedin man who's right into it, has 50,000 followers worldwide. So, yeah, interesting story, that's for sure. And lots happening in the sports world as well. We've got the Sparks in their big final against Wellington tomorrow, so wish them well. Good news for the Otago Rally. It's got confirmation it will go ahead under traffic light red, so that's good. That's in April. And we catch up with Fred Strawn, who's one of Hamish Bond's first coaches at Otago Boys High School. So we talked to him about what made an Olympic rower. So that's, again, another good read.
Great, Craig. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, a period of warmer northerly airflow is expected tomorrow ahead of a weakening front in the Tasman Sea. What remains of that front will peter out over the far south on Sunday, bringing cooler temperatures and some light showers. Heading to the centres now, it's all pretty fine up north. Greymouth on 21, Westport on 22. And cloud gives some respite in the northeast, Blenheim up to 27 degrees. It's fine down the Canterbury coast as well, 22 for Kaikoura and Christchurch. Ashburton a sunny 27 degrees. Travelling down south now, Catlins and Balclutha can expect moderate northerlies with high cloud increasing and a high of 24 degrees. For Lumsden and Gore, it's freshening northwesterlies with cloud increasing and a high of 23. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, moderate northerlies for Queenstown, Wanaka and Alexandra, up in between 26 and 29 degrees. It's cooler in Te Anau with freshening northwesterlies bringing showers later on and a high of 21. Looking at what's in store for the northern towns along the coast, a fine day with only light winds and high cloud. Oamaru on 26, Timaru on 28. The northerlies are more moderate inland on 28 or 29. In Dunedin, it'll be fine tonight with northeast winds and an overnight low of 10 degrees. Warmer tomorrow with long sunny periods and some high cloud. Light southwesterlies turn to heavier nor'easters later in the day. A high of 25 and a low of 12 degrees. And thick high cloud may yield a few spits of rain on early Sunday with moderate warm northerly winds, but low cloud and light showers will start during the afternoon with change to cooler southerly winds. A high of 23 and a low of 11. And in Invercargill, there'll be clear skies tonight with an overnight low of 9 degrees. It should be fine tomorrow with cloud increasing and warmer north to northwesterly winds slowly freshening during the day. Some light rain developing tomorrow night, a high of 22 and a low of 14. And it'll be cloudy with showers and a period of cooler southeasterlies at first on Sunday, but the showers will start clearing with winds dying out and cloud breaking later in the day. A high of 17 and a low of 12 degrees. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.